Sparrow. It's been a while since I've updated this building guide, but I have a feeling you guys are going to love this one, especially since tons of you are asking for it while I was streaming. PS, you can win these cool skins by watching my stream or any other Paragon stream during the Shadows Eve event. Sparrow has a very limited kit in terms of survivability. She basically relies on killing her opponents before they kill her, but we can include some cards that increase her survivability like Blink Charm and various health items. This allows us to have a quote-unquote escape, as well as being able to last longer in teamfights. As always, I'll go over the build, show you the build order, and then have a look at more gameplay. Now I like to take the Centurion as my Prime card because I really like the health bonus while I have Prime. But you should definitely consider the Warlord for the extra damage as well. I sometimes switch between the two. I then have a Hunter's Drink, but you can use a health potion as well. I prefer a Hunter's Drink at level 7 because it's obviously better, so what you can do is take a health potion until you reach level 7 and then switch it out for a Hunter's Drink. You don't have to use a Hunter's Drink, a health potion is just fine if you don't have one. Next we have our strike tokens. I have 4 because there was extra space in the deck, but you want at least 2. Our final consumable is Blink Charm. We then throw in our Adamant Edge with a lesser health, major strike and strike. A second Adamant Edge with 3 major strikes. I love these cards because they provide us with health and damage, 2 stats I feel are vital for Sparrow. Amulet of the Veteran with 2 minor strikes and a lesser health. Ward saved lives, so much so that we have 2 Guardian's wards, the first with 2 major strikes and a strike. Our next Guardian's ward is for the early game damage, throw in 2 minor strikes and a lesser health. If you don't have 2 Guardian's Ward, start with a Brawler's Ward and then switch it out in the late game for the Guardian's Ward. Windcarver Blade with a minor strike and 2 minor kinetics is next, followed by Stonetooth Heart for that penetration. I throw a minor pierce, pierce and major pierce into this. Swiftcreek Heart is our final card with 3 major kinetics. Sparrow really does take a while to come online, but I find that with the early game cards in the Guardian's Ward, Windcarver Blade and the Amulet of the Veteran, you'll definitely be doing some serious damage. I know some of you might not have this many minor strikes. It's fine to start with a 1, 2, 3 like on the Adamant Edge, although unfortunately you won't power spike as often. The build order goes something like this, and of course you want to be buying cards you need when you need them, rather than following my specific order that was tailored to this game. For example, you might need penetration sooner than I take it, so take it earlier, or you might not need it till late game. The point is to judge for yourself. I start with the Jungle Drink and Strike token, but like I said, take the health potion to level 7 and then swap it out for the Jungle Drink. I then throw in my cheap Guardian's Ward with 111 and max that out. I'll also take an early Blink Charm. You can throw in an extra strike token if you're left with 1 point. Next I'll either take my Amulet of the Veteran or Windcarver Blade. The choice depends on if you want to be more aggressive or a bit passive. Amulet of the Veteran has more health while Windcarver Blade has more damage, so the choice is yours. I go for the Windcarver Blade, max that out, and then I take my Amulet of the Veteran and max that out. Next up is our Adamant Edge with a lesser health, strike and major strike. So we have a good deal of health at the moment and quite a bit of DPS. I then sell my Jungle Drink, throw in Stonetooth Heart and max that out with some pen. Next I sell my cheap Guardian Ward and replace that with the more expensive version. I do the same with the Amulet of the Veteran, I sell that and replace it with my second Adamant Edge. The final card we replace is the Windcarver Blade with Swiftcreek Heart, maxing that out to get us right to 60 card points. If you have trouble remembering which cards to sell, just remember that you sell all the 111 cards, and I'll also have the agora.gg link in the description below to make it easier for you guys. The biggest tip I can give you on Sparrow is to unlock her E ability first and focus on maxing that out over every other ability apart from her ultimate of course. Her E ability is a passive one which says successive hits within 5 seconds on the same target deal an additional 3 physical damage. This effect stacks up to 10 times and is triggered by any damage Sparrow causes. This means the passive stacks with all her abilities as well as her basic attack. If you level this ability all the way, that's an additional 15 damage per stack, capping at 150 damage at 10 stacks. Remember, it stacks with any ability, so a quick way to build up her stacks is with her Q ability, which is an AoE, and if you land several ticks on the enemy, you're already halfway there to 10 stacks. It's also worth noting that while using Sparrow's ultimate, you can also use your other abilities so you can build up stacks even faster. So to sum it all up, focus your E ability along with your ultimate, then your Q, and then your right mouse button. This build is incredibly strong throughout the game because of the way the build curves. We have a lot of damage and survivability at every point in the game. Blink is also an early pick in games where the enemy team have heroes that may be difficult to deal with, especially if you have no peel. Gideon comes into my lane and ults me. Usually I'd be dead, but I blink out and we secure the kill. It's important you take blink quite early because you'll find it is a lifesaver, especially when heroes hit level 5 and their ultimates come online. Also, if you're wondering why I didn't back when I saw Gideon, it's because I had my blink and I had a Muriel, so I knew if he attempted to ult me, I would definitely be able to kill him first. My Gideon gets caught in the jungle, so I head over to help him. I throw down my Q before I do anything. This will help build up those passive stacks on all 3 of the enemy heroes. Feng decides to fight me, and I'd be fine because I have a lot of health, but Muriel ults me just in case and Chimera peels for me, exactly what a team should be doing for their Sparrow. Just before we can kill Feng Mao, the enemy Muriel ults to save him, but you can see we're just taking chunks out of her health, and it's getting worse for her as our stacks build up. Feng Mao teleports into lane, followed by our Gideon, and I jump through to assist him. We don't need to waste our blink in these situations, we should save it in case we need to escape. We finally secure the kill on Feng Mao and Gideon, and with 3 enemies down, this is the perfect time to do the Orb Prime. Again, Sparrow's passive stacks crazy on the Orb Prime, so you can hit 10 stacks quickly and take chunks out of his health. I know a lot of you will say, Ace, you don't have any armor, where's the Spike, Boneplate and Thorn Greenweave? Honestly, I had a build with those in, but it just didn't work as well as this one does. I feel like getting that extra health is more valuable than investing so many points into armor and then health, which just further reduces your damage output, and I didn't like this, especially on Sparrow. This build hits hard, and at full stacks with the Warlord as your prime card, you can easily hit 500 a shot. Plus we have attack speed, and you have a ton of health as well as blink to keep you alive. This is one of my shorter guides because I already covered the basics on Sparrow in a previous video, so if you want more of a guide, definitely check that video out. You can ignore the build since this is the updated version. The video is right here, you can just click on it and it will take you to the guide part. Smash that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video, it lets me know that you guys enjoy my content and want me to continue. Also, I've recently started to stream, so you can catch me on Twitch, a link is in the description below.